I'll be able to help you out.
I originated, grew up in this area.
Warren? Warren? I know about Warren, man. I went to graduate school in Akron.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I know about Warren. I had a good buddy.
I stand here in front of you
I
as
see his
your
face.
local representative of Lehigh.
He's out of Warren.
Lifelong resident of Southwest Florida. My parents lived here, shop, when we had one Publix and a Ben Franklin right next to us.
It's not far.
I've lived in Lehigh here for 18 years.
It's not far from Cedar. Something else out of Warren.
Road project has had some things we worked on. They'll slip through the cracks, as they say. And Lehigh will not be considered
I
first.
think goddamn guys. I just can't think of it. I'll think about it about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Stimulate the time to work on
Franklin Road. He's also
It's actually a nice
My James always said I was
Look at this thing, crazy.com.
You got to be crazy to go from Absolutely, that's a true meaning.
Well, you know what we're doing is everything that I use every event I go to, we actually put everything into it, and then we put all the raw footage from start to finish on the website.
Because it doesn't zoom out.
We're actually watching where the deals are being made.
It's also
And we don't have accountability now. We will survive the next 2 years. That's the bottom line.
establish an office over here where when you want to talk to our commissioners like Ray Judah, just be able to set up an appointment and he can
Well, that's a touchy one, I think.
I'll tell you, I'll
You
make
did.
it.
You know, the word,
local representation here.
see, that's
Calling anything else.
yeah, you gotta give us something. Don't give a title. Okay, where's the ingredients? What is it universal meaning, the way you're gonna give it to us?
Second to last largest landmass in Lee County.
No, I haven't.
The idea behind the Congress is essentially just to take the Medicare infrastructure and extend it to everybody in the country, which I think is the way to go. We need real single payer.
Well,
we
neither
need a
one of
real
you
single
are
payer
on
in the system.
Medicare, but I am
Yeah.
on Medicare. I have that magic number. And
say-
since I've been on it, they have went
I say
down.
take the senators. I say take 2 or 3 of those plans that the congressmen and the senators is on. They got to get another.
Yeah, that's what we all need. You know, that's one of the. I
Get
can't
2 or
think
3
of
of
his name.
their plans and parcel them out.
It's he's a congressman from Ohio, but he started this trend when he ran back in I think '92. He said that I am not going to take my congressional health care until everybody in the country is covered under the same plan.
Same plan.
And so I took the same pledge, you know, when I started running. I mean, the doctor I work for, I work as a polysomnographer, and the doctor I work for, he's the only sleep lab in the area that takes Medicare patients. And so I mean, people come in, it's just.
Well, see,
it's
there's another
amazing.
thing here too. If anything is going to change, this is the year.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, I don't know you, and I'll be honest with you, you know, that way. But I'm looking for change because what we have is not working. It hasn't been working. And I'm not going to say this one's good, that one's good, that one's good. I'm just saying it's not working. And until we get some good, I don't want to say people, but good ideas. That's the word I'm looking for. Ideas that are going to be different than what we got. And I think that's why Obama's probably so popular, is they're looking for new ideas. There's a new way to go. People are not happy with where we've been. And, you know, change is what we need, absolutely.
And I tell you, you know, the problems that we have in this country, I think one of the big issues that we have is every 4 years we have this presidential race. And of course the presidential race is incredibly important, but I think people get it in their head that all we need is a new person in office and everything is going to change.
It's,
When the
it's a
problems
word
are
is called
systemic.
hope. That's
Yeah.
what they do when they do that.
Yeah, and you know, and this is what we're trying to do with this campaign, which I think is so important. Is it's not about getting me into office, which of course is a component of it.
Absolutely.
But more than anything, we want to change the way what people expect from politicians. You know, we've got this technology now. We got the web. We didn't have a good
Oh,
signal
we
here.
have a lot of good things going for
So
us.
we couldn't do this live, but all this footage is going to be out there. You have the opportunity that you have 100% access for the first time. I mean, you've got a real interactive medium. It doesn't have to be politician speech.
And you know what? You don't don't have to worry about the almighty pen. See, that's the other side. If they like you, of course, you're going to get the news spread. If they don't like you, you're not going to get the news spread. So the internet, as it is it's the greatest tool. Ex-Obama, he made all his money on the internet, and it works. But and I'm not trying to plug for him. That's not my. I'm just trying to show you.
He's been really innovative. I mean, he's done a lot of things on the web.
Younger generation, you're a younger generation. That's what we need to get away from these old ideas. Times are not the old times. It's the new times. And like you said, you're into the computer, the cell phones. We've changed. I'm the first one who's going to admit it to you. And I work with kids, as James will tell you. I've been doing it for 40 years. I learn a lot from the kids, but I'm not in their league. And that's why we need people that are young. Who are you running up against? Huh?
Connie Mack.
You got my support. I'm sorry.
We got Bert Saunders and Robert Yields.
About 4 of y'all.
Yeah, there's 4 of us running.
Yeah, but to me, I don't know Connie Mack, and I'm not going to slam dunk him, but I don't feel he's been good for us. Here, meeting Lehigh Acres, this is my hometown of 40 years, and this is my stronghold, obviously. But in the same token, I'm part of all Lee County, as James and I are. When I ran, I knew that it wasn't just Lehigh. I'm all Lee County, and I always will be for the people. That's my whole strong point, and that's why nobody can slam dunk me, because I've always been for the people, and that's what
you got to do. And I tell you, the one thing that I had. Like anybody, I haven't had a perfect past, and I was so excited a couple weeks ago. I got my first anonymous attack email. I'm like, all right, I've made it now.
You made it now.
They're trying to pull up something from my past, so I did. I had a civil case. I put the transcript up on my website and said, here's all the information. You decide. No one's going to blackmail me on this. I'm going to be as honest as I can.
You know what? If any one of us can stay here and say,
it was nice meeting you.
Take care. See me before you leave, all right?
Okay.
See, if anybody can stand there and say, my past is perfect, picture clear, then you've got to be Al Gore, because he's the only one that I know that they groomed to go up. But the bottom line is, it's not what you do in the past. Let's be realistic here. And you need to get on with life. If you want to chew up somebody, then you better find a new life, because that's not what this is all about. And I wish you all the luck, because people want, this is the year, people want change, whether it be you or whoever. I know when I go in there, I'm going to vote for change. I'm just one person, but that's my feelings. And I know the ones that have been for us, but the majority hasn't been for us.
There's such a disconnect between the level of intercourse that people on the local and the county level have with the citizens, and then what's going on in Washington, D.C. I mean, the big criticism that I've heard of Connie Mack, and I hear this from everybody, is that the guy, people say he's just never around.
And you know what? That's the truth. That's the absolute truth. I made appointments a while back with him, but I have to work around him. He doesn't work around people.
Right.
And of course, I'm not going to go when it's in session, obviously, you know what I mean? But you got to have accountability to the people that you represent. And, nobody's above the people. Nobody. Whether you're the president of the United States or you go down to a level that's the lowest, nobody's above the people.
That's right.
And that's the way it is.
Senator Saunders challenged him to a debate, with everybody. And, Jeff Cohen put out, Connie Mack's response was, when one of you becomes a viable candidate, then maybe I'll think about debating you. That's not for him to decide.
That's an attitude.
That's up for the voters to decide. We're on the ballot. You need to give the voters a chance to decide who's a viable candidate. Your PR guy doesn't get to make that decision.
The politicians in the past never felt that the people were intelligent. And that's the truth. I'll be honest with you. They think they can come in here and put their arm around you. I'm Connie Mack, that's it. It's over, or whoever you may be. And you're going to get that person's vote. The people of today don't do that anymore. Today, they are making the call as they see them. And you know what? God bless those people, man, because that's what we need.
And when things get rough, I'm guilty of it as anybody. When things are good, you get distracted. But
human nature.
Yeah, but and right now, like you said, people are hungry for change. Look at the downfall of President Bush's popularity. I was one of those people.
He's going to go down in history as the worst president we ever had.
I agree completely. And back in 2001, 2002, I was out there. I was saying this war is a bad idea. President Bush is steering us wrong, and the press was saying, "Oh, this guy's out there Bush bashing." Never mind what I said about the issues.
No, the issues. Yeah. You see, with me, I'm in here 40 years in Lehigh. My family is general contractors and plumbing contractors. Multi-million-dollar business. We went down to doing one house a week. October, made a big move. My son, my wife, his kids and all, Mississippi. And that's where they've been since. My wife is now back here with me, got everything going down there. The point I'm trying to say is that not only Lee County I couldn't make it, and I'm well established with my name, I couldn't make it in the state of Florida. Nobody else can make it in the state of Florida. So I went where the money is, and that's in Mississippi. That's the name again. So what the point of all this is, we got hit with it first in Florida, and of course it trickled down. Now my sister just came down. She's with the largest law firm in New York City, Latimer and Watkins, I think it is. And now they are finally getting slam dunk where they were riding high. Point in hand is that people have to make changes. And now if we have to make changes, so do you.
That's right.
And that's the way it goes.
Well, you know, now that, I mean, for the last 2 years, I mean, ordinary people have been feeling it. Food prices have been going up, fuel prices have been going up.
Everything but
housing,
paychecks.
insurance, yeah, and paychecks are staying the same. And you watch the news and they're like, oh, I don't think we're in a recession. Maybe we're in a recession. Now the market's dropping.
Because the people,
Now, you know,
they think people are stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not in a recession. We're not in a depression. We're not in any of this. And why? They don't want to panic, obviously. And could you shut that for a second? Could you shut that for a second?
Just go ahead and shoot over there.
Kiwanis Club, the Lehigh Acres Chamber of Commerce for putting on this fantastic politics at the park today. Before I begin my remarks, I'd like to introduce the most special person in my life that I love with all my heart, my wife Vera. It's time for a change. It's time to make Lehigh Acres and Lee County better. I understand and I care that our economy is struggling, that people are hurting, and they're just having a hard time making it right now. We need to get our economy moving again. I care that our unemployment rate has gone up from 2.8 to 7.1% in approximately 2 years. I received the message when Amendment 1 passed. We need to reduce, cut county spending and lower our tax burden now to help make the economy better as well. I want to see us move up and do a better job moving up our capital improvement projects that are set 2, 3, 4 years out to help create jobs and to get people back to work. I want to see us strengthen our commercial tax base here in Lehigh Acres and in East Lee County to help create jobs for people that need work, to strengthen our tax base and to help offset residential taxes and tax values. That's important. We need to do that. We need to have somebody here that understands that Lehigh Acres counts. When I'm elected, with your help as your next commissioner, okay, I want to be here on the ground to make sure, one, that we also have an office of Lehigh Acres. That's something that's important. That's something that I care about. That we have a commissioner that shows up all the time, not just when it's election time, and that is responsive to the residents, and that will roll up their sleeves every day and get to work and fight to make Lehigh Acres and Lee County better. That's important. I want to work with the Sheriff's Office to see that we fight crime and that we fight drugs and help turn lives around to make Lehigh Acres and Lee County better as well. That's important. And I can also tell you, my friends, when I'm elected, I will never neglect you or the residents here in Lehigh Acres. It is not a political issue to turn around Lehigh Acres. It's a moral one. It is a moral issue to make sure that we don't have graffiti-filled houses in our neighborhoods, that we don't have drug houses, that we don't have crimes being committed right and left. It is a moral issue to make sure that the Sheriff's Office is adequately funded and to make sure that we adequately fund code enforcement and that we do things that are positive to beautify our community, to make Lehigh Acres better by increasing public-private partnerships to help beautify our community so that there's a greater sense of pride in terms of what we care about. Now I understand I may not have all the answers to all the problems, but I am the only candidate in this Republican primary that has not been a part of the problem of government in my race. And I would like to be a part of the solution. All my life, I've dealt with real issues that affect real people. Whether it's as an inner-city high school teacher in South Central Los Angeles, fighting drugs and fighting crime and turning lives around. Or as a former Florida prosecutor, fighting crime and making streets are safe for the good guys. Or even as a defense attorney. And as a private citizen, I've had the privilege of serving on numerous nonprofit boards in Lee County, which I'm still privileged to serve on, such as the American Cancer Society Lee County Unit, Voices for Kids of Southwest Florida in AFCAN, and Lee Mental Health with my friend Marshall Bauer, where I've helped build consensus to achieve positive results here in Lee County. I would like your help. I would like your support. Together, I'm confident we can get our economy moving again and turn things around to make Lehigh Acres and Lee County better. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thanks for coming out. All right, there's two more, just because we want to make sure you get to hear from all of the candidates.
Hey, go ahead.
School Board, District 3, Mr. Ray Rodriguez.
Okay.
To try to bring that diversity.
Yeah, the best thing about doing camera work for a long time, tremendous
Good
forearms.
afternoon. Can you hear me in the back?
Can you hear me now?
Okay, great. My name is Ray Rodriguez and I'm running for school board. I'm going to keep this short because it's hot and y'all been here for a long time. I'm running for school board because I have a 6-year-old son, Brett, and that son with the orange shirt over there, he's hot and tired too. He's in the district, he's been in the district for the past 2 years, and he's going to be in the district until he graduates. So my wife and I have a long-term commitment to the Lee County School District. The largest challenge that's facing the school district right now is the budget. And that's an area where I believe I can help. I'm a budget manager at Florida Gulf Coast University for the College of Arts and Sciences. So I'm used to dealing with state budgets on the education level. Prior to working at FGCU, I worked for GE for 10 years, GE Corporate. I was a manager for 3, and each year we were expected to reduce costs, but improve productivity. So I've worked in an environment where we have to reduce costs, but maintain quality. That's what our school board needs right now. I have a background of community service. In 2005, Governor Jeb Bush appointed me to the Lee County Housing Authority, and I served as a commissioner for the last 3 years. This past year, I was the chairman of the commission. I was an appointee to the Lee County Charter Review Committee. We just completed our session, and I'll have to say, when we came to Lehigh Acres, the one thing I heard loud and clear, we went to the library, and it was passed, was that citizens there of Lehigh Acres want single-member districts. I worked for that on Charter Review. We did not get that out of the county commission, but I promise you, if you elect me to the school board as a school board member, I will put forth a proposal for the school board to be elected by single-member districts. We have to start somewhere, and this is a good place as any to begin. Like I said I would keep it short. If you let me, I'll bring a parental perspective, a budget manager perspective, and a history of being a community volunteer. And I promise to serve you, and I look forward to any questions you may have. Thank you.
And now running for U.S. House of Representatives, Mr. Robert Neal. Mr. Neal.
Second stack there.
Good afternoon. My name's Robert Neal. I'm a Democrat. I'm running for the United States House of Representatives in Florida's 14th Congressional District. Who here has $1 million? There you go. One guy does. Well, it's been suggested that he's the only one that Congressman Mack will represent. He doesn't want to have a discussion about the issues, so we need to ask Congressman Mack respectfully to come out and have a debate about the issues. Here's the issues. It's the economy. The economy is going south very fast. It's not over yet. Here's some ways we can save some money. We can bring our troops home from Iraq, stop this unnecessary war. We can also increase taxes on the highest 2%, like this guy sitting over here. Make them pay a little bit more to bring in more revenue. That will begin to save money on one end and get money in revenues on the other end. That will decrease the federal deficit. That's why oil prices are so high, because oil is traded in U.S. dollars, and when the U.S. dollar is very low, the U.S. dollar won't buy as much oil. That's why oil prices are so high. So if you're tired of $4 a gallon gas, if you're tired of a subprime mess, If you can't stand it anymore, that it's hard for you to get health care and education for your children, it's time to do something. I invite you to vote for me on November 4th for the United States House of Representatives. I'm not part of the problem. I'm part of the solution. I'll represent you even if you don't have $1 million. My name is Robert Neal. I'm candidate for the United States House of Representatives, Florida 14th Congressional District. I'm a Democrat. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last round of applause I want you to give is for yourselves for coming out and becoming informed. And let's give a round of applause to all of the candidates. It's not an easy thing to put yourself out there and do that, and thank God for them because we have choices that way. And for our closing remarks, once again from the Lehigh Alliance, Mr. Michael Porzio. Mr. Damon, and I did this earlier.
The community council. I just wanted to get up and say a few things. It's been a long day, a hot one. I appreciate y'all for staying in here and seeing it through to the end. This has been a great event. I just want to do a few thank yous very much for the turnout. Number one, again, for the candidates for coming to Lehigh. We're on the map, and they're out here to see us. Two, thank you for the crowd that came today. It was a great crowd. It's good to see Lehigh residents come out to an event like this. It means a lot to the candidates, and I'm sure they'll pay attention to what you said today. I'd also like to express some special thanks to Tammy Baker for setting this thing up today. Give her a big hand. Along with Jim and Ed. Did the cooking today. Did a great job. Diane, Beth, all the kitchen staff, thank you very much for handling the hamburgers and hot dogs, and everybody else. I know Gary was with the water, and all the community council people, Troop 270, they got up and left. They came out here to help us out. The Chamber of Commerce, certainly Roe McDonald, and a number of folks y'all know came, and Kiwanis, actually, the sound system provided by the Kiwanis. This is a community effort. Some of these community organizations support the people, the residents, and the businesses in Lehigh Acres, and it's important that the residents come through and help out this. Yes, we have our sponsors here. Of course, the Community Council Lehigh Acres, the Acres Chamber of Commerce, the Kiwanis Club. Also want to thank Lehigh Regional Medical Center, Panther Bank, Living Waters, Christian Church. They were the ones with the water bottles. Winn-Dixie, BJ's, and Publix, and also Costco. I want to thank Costco and Walmart also for helping out with some donations to put this event on. So thank you very much. I'm done. I'll get out of here. Everybody have a good, safe trip home. Vote. Get out and vote in August. These races are important in August, and again, get out there and vote in November. Make sure Lehigh is represented and good turnout. Thank you very much.
Is this anybody's water? Who do I call and talk to? Somebody's going to explain to me why I have to explain this.
Some U.S. persons so that they can tax us to death. That's my main concern. But the only way that they could ever affect it would be to try to keep it. And it's so overwhelming. It's so unbelievable. People look at you and say, nuts. And it's so all-encompassing because they say, how the hell could you ever bring this many people into this much of a spiritual conspiracy? It's simply because they don't understand it themselves.
It's a systemic problem. People say conspiracy theory, they think a group of people that sit together and decide these things here.
Well, I understand that. The conspiracy word only comes up in organizations such as this. Because then it's the statement is, oh, you know, like the Mel Gibson guy, like And there are a lot of people like that. And fortunately, at least for me, I know that I'm not. I've been there. I've lived there. I've once worked for civil service. I've been there.
I say, I come from a documentarian. One of the most important things that we're trying to do with this is it's not about changing the officers. We want to shine a light on what's going on in the city. And I think the best way to do that is we need a man inside. We need somebody who's going to go there and basically, like I said, be our eyes for years. Every politician says they want to do that. This is why what we're doing here is so important, because I'm not just telling them, hey, trust me. I'm saying, look, I'm going to give you everything that you need. If we can do that on the campaign, we can get people behind this idea, then we can take the same show to Washington, D.C. We can do the same thing now.
But just let me offer to you. And again, it's so all-encompassing. So, we could go for months and months. But like with what they're doing with Ron Paul, and not that he's my perfect candidate, because he's not that marketable. He's not a Schwarzenegger type, but the things that he's saying are applicable, and this is what needs to be done. And every other body that's ever said it is now dead. They killed them off.
Well, I think there were two candidates in the presidential races that agree or disagree with either one of them. They best represented the views of their constituents. That was Ron Paul on the Republican side and Dennis Kucinich on the Democrat side. Yeah. And those are the ones that they immediately marginalized.
Right. Well, Dennis, see, when he first started, he was a ball of fire, and I was in union politics. I was a local union president in UAW. So I had the opportunity with my investigation to be right there firsthand among the bureaucratic and also socialistic. This is the backbone of the Communist Party in the world are the unions. I know this. So I had the opportunity to verify it as a union president, 9,000 members. I met with Steve Yokich. I was there at Solidarity House. I saw it myself. I didn't need you to tell me. I was there. But to try to convey this to people, again, they're going to say, well, wait a minute. That's what you end up getting, as I'm sure you will appreciate. Anyway, to not take a whole lot of your time, if I could, I would have no problem with trying to help you if I could, but how do I, like with the person, we are U.S. persons. Do you understand what that means? You understand that, the Constitution does not even enter that world whatsoever.
It takes away the idea of citizenship.
There is no citizenship. The Constitution of the United States, the founding document, means absolutely nothing in the world that controls our purported government. That's a uniform commercial code. You go into an IRS administrative court, they don't even recognize. You can't bring up the Constitution unless you're in the IRS. What are you talking about? Aren't we covered by the Constitution? Well, not really. But we don't want that to be known too much. So until people bring that message around, we're pissing up women.
Well, we've got to change the way that we do business there. That's the main thing. And like you said, in Washington, D.C.
Okay, how
because the problem is, and this is the first step. And
anyway, we had a good time.
the problem that people have is the government is not in them. The government is in us, in principle. In practice, like you're saying, that's not the way things are running now. And if we get out there and we educate people and we show people what's really going on, then, we can take back the government for the people. We can restore those principles of the Constitution. But until we can find the means to get, number one, show people what's going on, and number two, get them actively engaged in the process with a real understanding of what's going on, nothing's going to change.
And I kind of was always, I would agree with that up until just the last few days, and I'll tell you why. I believe that to bring that to light is through every public agency, every school district, fire, police, every agency of government has a separate account. The Comprehensive Annual Financial Report. They have also heavily invested in bonds, T-notes, all these, and also private industry stock. Now, they've been kind of told to keep that quiet. They don't want the public to know, because if the public finds out that they're taking your tax money and investing for their benefit, then they're going to raise hell. So they've been, and then they said, and all the people like me that they would listen to, they said, you know, that sounds really nuts, because look at what's all you own. Look at what you own. And like in New York, there's probably 300,000 businesses that they've invested in just in New York State government. So, ha 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 on them. Well, come to find out, to let them know they own nothing, even though those school districts, the NEA, probably three, that slot bucket up there in the middle, then they're going to start crying.
I mean, you're seeing the apex of it now. The way the Reserve fed the mortgage crisis and the credit crisis. Now everybody, these people who invested all of this money, who before it was convenient for them to overlook the problems, now it's coming out of their pocket.
Well, here's the scam there. See, the Federal Reserve, when we ran out of collateral at different times, first off, we had the Great Depression. We ran out of gold and silver. So now they said, we got to write some new rules. So that's been the way to go. Well, when they changed the rules in '38, they started Fannie Mae. So then government started backing loans, which, voila, that means that the government then, because constitutionally, government cannot own land. But in the corporation, they can own what the fuck everything and get away with it. So the Federal Reserve says, hey, we'll have Fannie Mae, and then that creates more capital, collateral, and more that we can loan you on your big scam here. Well, now because so many people have learned what we're talking about right now, and people have been saying, look, we want you to start liquidating some of your public agency monies, investments, and take the onus off the taxpayer. And because that movement has been growing and growing, the Fed says, wait a minute here, shithouse is backing up. So what they've done, they caused this, this contrived conspiracy. They're changing the rules now so that the U.S. government, through Fannie Mae, used to hide the real owners, the Federal Reserve, so they were the front agents. Well, now, because people are saying liquidate, 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 and they can't liquidate, because it's a public law that every public corporation has to make a profit. The other condition is that if they do try to liquidate, guess what? It's got to go toward the national debt, which they'll never get back. Now,
despite the fact that they're already insolvent.
Well, we've been broke, since 29. The Federal Reserve Act went in 1909, I think it was, 1909, and then we were officially bankrupt in 29. In the Clinton administration, 97, 6 or 7, the United States disappeared even from the law dictionaries. It is in a continuing state of bankruptcy now, the United States is. That is. Now, in 1989, knowing that this was coming, in Delaware, a corporation called the United States of America Incorporated was formed in Delaware. I've got the number and all, the number of the corporation itself. So they covered themselves that way. But now they're rewriting the new rule, and if you read what they want to do with these mortgages, they want to take it away from the government, and the Federal Reserve will officially take it over for us, which means now that it's all out in the open. But people aren't going to see it in that context, because the entitled people, the ones that are going to squeal the most, are being taken care of because we're going to buy their out. You're going to get your home. You don't even have to save up or nothing.
We better get out of here.
Okay, Jeff. Thanks. My name is Keith K.
Keith K, it's nice to meet you.
If you
send me an email. You got my card. Send me an email.
I don't think I got this one here.
Yeah, go ahead and grab one of those.
Excuse me. I don't know, anywhere along those lines. If we can agree on those lines, I'd back somebody that, that's willing to listen, and it would not be easily.
Well, the situation is so complex, like you said. I mean, it's something we really have to take a look at. And I think a lot of times, no matter how much you think you've got a clear frame on it, you always discover that there's some nuance, that there's something that comes up that you didn't expect.
But that's in all. I mean, that's in your marriage. That's in every aspect of your life. But as long as you understand the basics, as long as you understand that part of it, then you can pretty much anticipate. Then you can say, well, look, they only have so many alternatives to this. Even though you're dealing with the most sophisticated lawyers, commercial lawyers in the world, they're not that hard.